fulfillment part. I like the fulfillment part of the sales process. So like, fulfilling it. What I also like is we notice that we have a structure there, which is the sell by chat structure. A lot of people are talking about like how to sell by chat. So we have that structure there. So that's what I like about it. Just two things.
Okay, perfect. And you guys are doing 2 to 3 million a year. So obviously some things are going well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You like some of those structures. I guess what would you change about the process if you could from a sales perspective, whether it's the methodology you're using or the outcomes that you're getting?
I think would be me, because I'm the only person bringing 2 to 3 mil into the business, because I do webinars. And then we try to automate it, but the conversion rate just drops. So every week I do a webinar and then we close. And then we just bring in the money. But the problem right now is I want to fix that, where they can either watch a video or they can either do watch a content piece and then book to a strategy call or something like that. And then I remove myself from the sales.
Okay, so having you being the main income generator of the company, how long has that been the case for?
I would say 3-4 years. 3-4 years.
Okay, and I guess is that impacting the ability of the business to expand, or is that kind of?
Yes. Okay. Like I can't focus on marketing. I can't focus on content creation. I can't focus on scaling, because I'm the only guy that does the sales also. So.
Okay, well, I just want to understand, I guess, the rationale behind why you might be looking to, I guess, bring in a more structured sales process. I guess, what's the main reason for wanting to do that, rather than just like, I don't know, go and just fill more closers or whatever?
I think because this model is not very scalable, because we also realize there's a lot of, like, when it comes to the webinar model, we realize like that, like, we run a campaign, right? And then let's say 100 people register, and then 30% show up, and out of the 30%, then you close another 10-20%. And then we feel like there's a lot of these lost leads that, like, if we could do something about them, if our outreach team is strong enough, they could do a customer service call and then disguise it then lead them to a strategy call and then close them, that kind of thing. So it's that.
There's a lot of process things that are missing, not only just a skill set, but it's a process. Right?
Yes.
The referral process, the no-show process, the the internal sales rep lead generation. Okay, that kind of makes sense. And you mentioned that before you talked to me, you did Dan Locke and you also did Bell for it. I guess, like, what do you think, I guess, held you back from having success with that approach?
I think it's not a very plug and play method.
Okay.
So the problem with Dan, we realize, is it's a very mindset and stuff, and then it's good, but like when the rubber hits the road, the closer has no idea what to do, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the first one. Yeah. So Jordan one is good, but the problem is Jordan doesn't have a lot of content. It's just that whatever straight line is actually quite like a 2-3 hour call.
I've done it. Yeah.
So it's quite it's quite like surface level. So you get the idea.
I've got 3 hours on follow up in my portal.
Oh really?
Just on follow up, yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, but like once we go there, there's nothing else to do, and then it's like,
I see. And then he's a busy guy. He's not going to coach people.
Yeah. And then what happened? Yeah. So that's the problem with Jordan. So that's why we can do it. Okay, perfect. Well, I just want to make sure that what we do would actually work for you. But I guess besides the getting the guys better on the ground at sales and more comfortable with objections and all that kind of good stuff, and having the processes behind that, what are you actually looking for in, I guess, like a training and management program for you and your sales reps, and also your future sales reps? Because we want to like future proof it so that you can onboard new people and then put them into a system, right? I think for me, it's whatever you just said. You just hit it on the nail. It's like, how can we create something where I don't need to be part of it? Because right now I need to spend a lot of time with the salespeople, right? And then it's like, how can we hire a salesperson, they go through our interview process, and then we just plug them into this pipeline of trainings, and then they come out, they know what to do, they can do the thing, and then that's what we want. Just keep it simple, keep it clean, and if we can do that, we're pretty happy.
Okay, so I suppose I just want to touch on like the I guess like the income piece. You reckon right now you're about 2 to 3 million a year. A lot of that hinges off you. And I guess you mentioned you want to kind of be able to scale that out. What's your goal for the next, say, 6 to 12 months in terms of revenue, but also how many sales staff would you be looking to bring on in that period?
We want to break, like if we do 2 to 3 million, like I'm actually happy if we can do 2 to 3 million, but I don't need to sell a single thing.
Okay, so for you, it's about,
and then maybe a sales staff of like 3, 4. If we can do that, that's already godsend. And then the second piece will be then 5. We've been trying to break the 5 mil mark for some time, and then I realized I am also the problem because I'm limited to whatever I can do. So I think
I love working with guys as there's a transition, right? Like guys who go from making like early 7 figures to making like a late 7 figures and 8 figures, where it's like there's that transition of like business owner where it's like, okay, I'm starting to understand like I need to separate myself out a little bit so you can focus on like the big picture stuff. I really enjoy that because I work with a lot of people as they make that transition. I've grown a few 8-figure businesses myself. And so making that, it's a very interesting time. And I think sales is one of the key components, which is why I like having these chats. Okay. So let's just say we are able to, I guess, like if you're able to get to that point where let's say you're doing 3 to 5 million without doing the sales, like what do you do with that? Like what's kind of vision for yourself in the future if you're
I would say content creation, okay. Do more videos on Facebook, that kind of stuff, and then spend more time with I would say half. It would be first half would be content creation, creating more assets so that it's easier for the closer to close in the future, get the brand out there, get the name out there. I would say second half would be client legacy building. Legacy building. So training our current coaches. We have other coaches that talk about different parts of our programs, and then training them to be able to coach and take over the coaching part so that I can also remove myself from that also. Yeah.
So and what do you coach specifically? Like what do you coach people to do?
Video marketing. We do a lot of video marketing coaching. So video marketing, and right now we chunk it up to social media. So we started off our niche is video marketing, and then now we also talk about Instagram Reels, how to get clients with Instagram Reels, how to get clients with what do you call it, TikTok, those kind of things, video stuff.
Okay, perfect. And I suppose the whole point is not to get to $5 million having enormous sales stuff that's taking all of your money, right? Yep. So, and what I want to do is I want to make sure that if we do something together, that I put a structure in place that makes sense for you as the business owner. Right? So what is the revenue that you're looking to take out of your company on like a monthly or yearly basis?
The revenue, honestly, I right now, I haven't thought about that. I haven't prepared that so far, but you mean personally take up?
Yeah, because obviously as decisions have to be made, right? Yeah. And so they're going to have personal impacts on you, both positive and negative. And so for me, like what I don't want to do is put in people and structures and grow a sales machine that's not going to be really, really front end profitable, which won't allow you to take the back end. So what one of the balancing acts that I make is like, if I understand what David's vision is for yourself and your life moving forward, like I want to make $100,000 a month in this business, then I know like, okay, we need to have a structure that's going to create this much cash collection. You know what I mean? And this much kind of front end. So like for you, like for me, like for my business, it's $80K a month. That's what I need to take out of it.
Yeah. Right. I think for me, it's $100K a month. So like 30% to me, and then the rest of the 60-70% back to the company. So.
Okay. And like, I guess like with what you're doing now, how close are you to being able to pull out the $100K a month?
Right now, not so much because we're getting dragged down by operations, and then because in order to get the closing numbers that we were getting, like there's actually we have a lot of stuff that even though they're not sales, they're supporting, they're doing the phone calls, they're doing the reminders, and then to get the show up.
So there's a lot of work being done, but the closing of the deals isn't being happened.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. And I suppose like one of the questions that I always think of like you may have heard this before, but I like to think of goals as like, as like somebody running a 100-meter race, right? So it's like I can have 100K a month. I can have fame, money, women in front of you. Do you know what I mean? And that helps you kind of go for it. And the reason, but if I release a line behind you, you're going to run that 100 meters a little bit faster, right? And so there's two sides to the motivation coin. There's the run towards and the run away coin, right? And so like what I always like to find out from my potential clients is like, I guess, because then we're on the same side, we're on the same team. Like what happens if nothing happens and you don't fix the sales team? You can't figure out a way. You just kind of keep trying different things that don't work. What happens over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months in your business if that never changes and you're the one who's responsible for all the income?
I think for me, it would be like, I would be the slave to the business. I think you work with enough clients where they realize like, hey, I'm making so much money, but I'm not taking anything back.
Yep.
You know, and then it feels like I am working for my staff because the day I stop, you know, then they don't make money, and then it feels like I'm dragging myself there. So I think those are two of the main things. And I've been in the business for maybe 5-6 years already, and then it's taking a churn on me. I'm 27 now, so like I'm gonna hit 30 soon. So I, like girlfriend, marriage, all that kind of stuff, and then I think
it just
start planning. Yeah. And
Okay.
then I realized like there's not enough to take home because everything is distributed to the team. And then I realized like personal finance wise, it's not gonna be the strongest. So I need to build that personal finance for me. So that's the consequence if this continues. So yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like you're in a position now where you're ready to start making some changes to kind of work towards that and put yourself in a position where you can?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, kind of based off our conversation today, I think that what we have might actually work for you, right? So I have a couple of options, right? But essentially, it's like a 12-week management structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I build out all of it's. I'll tell you, it's 12 weeks. It's 25,000, right? And for that, we do a couple of different things for you. Okay. So the first thing is that I'm going to show you the portal because the portal is the first thing which you're probably curious about. Okay. Yeah. Right. So if you allow me, I'm just going to share my screen and I'm going to take you through like a daily training portal that I put and expect and I put the KPIs in. Okay. So what we're going to do is this. Okay. So here it is. Here's the portal. It's in a platform called Kartra. Super, super simple. This is just a welcome video. Okay. Essentially, when I was a commission-only sales rep, I was earning $100,000 a month commission. So the whole way that this portal is themed is this is how you make a shitload of money as a sales rep. Right? Okay. So the first thing, we go through some planning. Okay. Ideal income. What's close rate mean, show up rate, understanding commissions and like how to not use comparison is a thief of joy, right? So we want to keep good people long-term, building a gap of like what you can offer. And this is where I really change their mindset. And I go like, okay, what can David offer you from a lead perspective? And how do we compare that with the opportunity that you require in order to get your income? So if let's say they make $1,000 a sale, I'm just going to use round numbers, and they want to make 20,000 a month, then they have to make 20 sales. In order to make 20 sales, how many need to show up to a sales call? Let's say they close at 50%, 40 need to show up. Now, how many do they need to book in order to get 40 to show up? They have an 80% show up rate. They need to book 50 calls. Let's say that given the warm leads that you have, they can book 35. So they need to find another 15, right? Now, if we know that, then what we do is we then go, okay, mate, here's all of your different lead generation mechanisms that you have as a sales rep, and this is how you do it, right? So let's say I want to take them through how to set using DMs, right? Here's the script. Here's exhaustive detail. Each one of these is 40 minutes on exactly with real-time examples of exactly how to set within a DM environment, right? And then it's like, okay, I want to do some training on referrals. Okay. Here's an explanation of my referral script and the referral SOP and the script as well. Right. Here's what I'm going to do with old lead lists. Right. Here's a step-by-step of how to attack an old lead list. Here's what I'm going to do with no sales and no shows. Right. And then I've got YouTube comments, LinkedIn. It's just locked at the moment. You know what I mean? So, okay. So we do that and tracking objections, for example, right? So it's like, if you have the 4 main objections, by tracking the objections, we understand what the person is good at and what they're bad at, Then from there, we can create a customized development plan based off the actual numbers the guy is spitting out, right? Then we're going to go through, okay, triage, sales call, follow-up referrals. How do we structure our diaries to maximize success, right? Then we go through some mindset stuff. As you can see, it's not long. We have some health and fitness stuff in there as well. And then we have things like, this is how you prevent burnout, right? And we have like triage training. Okay, this is an in-depth explanation of a triage script. This is a textbook example of a live triage call. And this is the triage script, right? Which we can then change. Same with sales call, live sales call, breakdown, script. Same with referrals, live sales call, breakdown, script. Same with objections, okay? I have what's called the objection handling matrix, right? Which I give to all of my staff, right? I'll show you this real quick. I'll just share. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but this is what your staff will get, right? The objection handling matrix, okay? The key is we understand how objections work, okay? And what we're looking at, how we triage them. We explain, have a deep understanding of what each objection is. We go through a flow chart of exactly how to handle each objection, right? And then they have all different reframes and scripts. This is spouse-based objection. This is the open wallet test, unwilling to schedule a follow-up, money objection, everything. As you can see, it's all laid out. And then there's videos. These are all videos on exactly how to handle each one, right? Then we have, this is someone handling a live partner objection.
Yeah.
This is someone handling a funding objection. So this person said, I'm 100% in, I just don't have my credit card on me. I'm sure we've all heard that before.
Yeah.
Right? He got her to apply for a new online credit card, give him the numbers of that credit card and pay in full.
Okay.
We have all that, okay? Frameworks, presentation, hook setting, DMing, short-term follow-up, long-term follow-up, okay? We have like what to do in a triage no-show, how to handle your open deals, future closes, and no-shows, how to set tasks and different actions in SMS within different CRMs, how to do goal-setting follow-up, which is a way that I like to do a follow-up, which is tremendously effective, and how to use other people's money. So this is training on how to get funding, right? And just a bunch of other things, right? All different end-of-day reporting, knowing your numbers, lead gen strategies, calendar optimization, meeting schedules, and then like courses to try, right? These are different books that I find that are really good for selling and stuff like that, okay? So that's the portal side of things, okay? So that's access. Now what we do is we make that into part of your onboarding. They have to go through like 60% of it before they can finish their onboarding, right? Which will take them a few days, right? Or maybe a week or something like that, right? And then what we do is we build out your onboarding for you. Okay.
So what's the difference between what you just showed me and the closing code?
The closing code is totally different. The closing code is like a baseline set that we give people, which is a bunch of access, right? That's like all of our, it's just like a much simplified version of some of the stuff that we do, which is designed to get someone who's new to sales to pretty good, and it's cheap and they get access to role plays. Right? Now, that particular portal is only for my internal staff and teams that we manage. That is literally the most comprehensive sales training I know how to put into a portal.
Okay. Right? So the one you just showed me, that's the one you just mentioned. Okay, got it.
That's not the closing code. Then what we do is we go through, because we need to build out a robust onboarding section, right? So we go through and we build you out in ClickUp. We build you out an onboarding process, right?
Oh, so you guys just click up, okay.
Yeah. So we build out an onboarding process, right? So that we can go, okay, this guy's onboarded. These are all of his tasks. Okay. We know exactly where he's at, what he has to do, all the videos, instructional stuff. We tell you exactly what we need, and we just build the whole thing. Right. And then from there, we build that. So now what you have is you have the ability to onboard a new salesperson, and they have a step-by-step process of exactly how to become successful, not only from a product knowledge standpoint, but from an actual sales standpoint. Because I think like a lot of the stuff you said was like the guys get a bit lost. They probably understand the product stuff, but they don't necessarily have the sales skills or the sales stuff in order to kind of get there consistently.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So we have a portal which is designed to give them ongoing training and quite in-depth training, but that's that one part. Then what we do is build out a nice, really, really structured onboarding process so that all of your new reps and the reps that you have can go through that. And then the last thing that we do is we do 12 weeks of coaching. Okay. So what we do is we take you and we take your sales reps and we put them through a coaching program over a 12-week period, which is designed to not only pull out all the things we need to pull out, we're going to redo your scripting. So we're going to look at all the scripts in your business, right? Whether it be like cold DMing, warm DMing, sale, because there needs to be a congruence the entire way across. The messaging needs to be clear from everybody. There needs to be start points and start points of each phase, and everyone needs to know them. So the messaging. So if you have a DM team, a setter team, everyone needs to be involved. Then we're going to redo all your scripting, and then what we're going to do is over a 12-week process, right? So every single week there's going to be like a training, right? And over that 12 weeks, there'll be one with me every 3 weeks, right? And one with somebody else every week, right? So that's how it works. And then we really look to take your closers. We record the whole process. So that becomes part of your onboarding as well, right? So they can watch the whole process of all the scripts being built, the understanding of the sales process, right? Because we want to really understand the sales process. They want to understand the script, right? Because then if someone goes off script, it doesn't matter. You know how to deflect and put them back on. You never get lost. You make the sale, right? And we're going to put in some of the effective tracking mechanisms in place so we can start to actually identify who's doing what well and who's not doing well enough in certain areas. And that way we can start to, then sort of figure out what to do from there. So really it's an in-depth coaching program combined with like a resource that you can have in order to onboard and train your current and new reps, and then a training and then a portal on top, which is simply just designed for those guys to get a baseline level of understanding so the coaching can go to a next level, because I don't want to explain simple stuff in coaching sessions. I want to explain the more nuanced stuff in coaching sessions. So does that whole structure kind of make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think one concern I have is like our current closer, if our gut feeling is like he might leave us, and then that would leave us with no closers.
Yeah, I can source you a closer as part of that. It's like, no, it's no dramas.
Oh, okay, nice. And then when it comes to the tracking software and system, like I saw you use ClickUp probably on Asana, that kind of thing, and then like right now we also realize
you can also build it within Asana. It's not really too much of a drama, right? Do you know what I mean? It's just really a case of like what things need, because we used to do ours on Asana, but we changed it to ClickUp because I like it better. Right. So it's basically a case of like we need to create a really, really nice, easy to follow system of where salespeople have access to all the information that they require. And it's not just about product knowledge. We have a nice in-depth sales training that's specific to you and your company. So they understand your values, they understand. And the whole point is that I need to take these people or any potential people that you have, and I need to create a culture of follow-up and referrals. Like, because that's what makes you the money. If you want to be able to step out of this thing, no one's going to give a fuck about the leads as much as you, because you're the guys paying for them. But if I can create a culture of people who get after it and go for it and get it, and we get rid of the baby bird mentality, then you're in a really good position over the next 3, 6, and 12 months to be able to step out of that business and have people in there that are actually making sales, because they're stepping into an expectation of, you're not a baby bird. We give you warm leads, but that's not the only way you do. Right?
Got it.
But that's going to start from up here at the top. And it's going to start from like, we need to start firing that down. And it's about the mentality of like, we do what we need to do to get the job done. And that's how I've managed to grow a business from like 55 sales reps to, $1 million a month in 17 months. And it's just simply because like we bred that into everybody and everywhere that we are, and we go out there and we fucking smash it. We just take names,
Nice. Okay. So is this like your most premium one?
No.
Okay, got it. So this is like
more.
Is this like an entry one, or?
I don't generally do anything less, because like I don't see a point. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, got it.
Like I can do something cheaper, but who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to do what I know gets the job done. What I know is me and my guys coaching the shit out of anybody who's in there. We can find somebody for you, right? We can put them in there and coach them up as well. And we can put all the systems, processes, structures, SOPs. So literally anybody who's even half decent at closing can walk in there and have every single tool they could ever need to make you $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million every year for the next 5 years.
Got it. Okay. And I think the only thing is, like, does it have to be one lump sum, 25K, or?
No, if the structure, we can go into that in a second. Does the structure, do you actually kind of make sense? Like, do you feel like it can help the business get to where you want to go?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And is there anything in particular that you feel like is kind of most benefit? I'm just curious.
I think the onboarding portal, I think that's the most important one. Like right now we have a bunch of trainings, but it's just a mess. And then I think one thing you mentioned, follow like the baby bird mentality. The current closer we have is like, oh, after we do a webinar, and then he kind of does 1 or 2 sales, and then like 10 sales, and then he thinks he's doing really great. But it's just because these guys, they just came hot off the webinar. That's why it's easier to close.
I'll give you a little example. Like, if you play street ball and you're 6'7", right? You're going to destroy everybody because you're huge. If you then go into the NBA, it's a different story. But you have 2 options when you go to the NBA. You step up and you do the work because now you know what's possible. Or you shrink and be a little bitch and you walk away. Right? So my goal is I show salespeople what's possible. I was a 7-figure earner from commissions, no cost attached to it. Right? That's fucking great. I made a shitload of money doing that, and people didn't think that was possible, and I did it, and then I created a whole bunch of other people who did the same thing. Because now they know what's possible. Like, I go, hey, dude, like, what are you making right now? I'll sit down with them. I'll go over his numbers and go, you should be making triple the money. This is how we're going to do it. If you'll let me, I'll triple your income. And they go, fuck yeah, let's do it. And I go, okay, cool. Because all I got to do is show them my bank account and go, I'm a sales guy just like you. Right? You can do it. If I can do it, I'm fucking borderline retarded at certain things. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. It's going to be fun. Right? But yeah, I totally understand it. Now, if you want to have the payment plan conversation, I can do it. Most of the time, what we'll do is split it up into 2. If you need to do more than that, we can have a conversation too, but I try and keep it no more than 3.
No more than 2. Okay, got it. I think this is very interesting, and I am fully sold. Okay, I just need to talk to my team because I do have a CEO and COO. I'm the founder. I need to walk through them with this. But other than that, 2 payment plans.
Okay. Now I guess it totally makes sense, right? Now it's a funny position, right? Because like one of the things that you want me to do is teach you guys how to sell better.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a funny situation for me to be in because although I appreciate your objection, I'm going to have to overcome. Okay. So like, and I totally get it, right? It's all based down on like, we all make decisions based off our perspective, right? And right now it's a tough thing to see. Been grinding it out for years. Do you know what I mean? Like, I totally understand it. The problem is if we're always making decisions based off the perspective that we currently have, and we always make decisions in a certain way, which has given us a certain outcome, right? Then uncharacteristic decisions generally get uncharacteristic results. So this is what I want to do. I want to picture on an island, right? Picture an island surrounded by water. Okay? So if you're on an island surrounded by water, every single decision that's made will be based on the fact that you're on an island surrounded by water with limited resources. In order to kind of get to the perspective that you want to have, which let's just say it's like, the penthouse, right? You got to be up nice and high, right? Where you get far more input. So when you have more input, your decision making is different, right? The guy in the penthouse is making different decisions than the guy on the ground floor. Do you know what I mean? And their perspective in life reflects their perspective in the building. Okay? So there's a couple of really difficult decisions that need to be made. And this is the decisions as leaders that we make. And that's why we're the leaders, right? The first one is that like understanding it's there is tough. You can't see the mountain. So to walk to it, to actually believe it's there is difficult. Now you're a business owner, entrepreneur. You clearly know that there's more. There's more that can be done. You're investing in business coaching and doing all this kind of stuff, right? But that's step number 1. So hard tick box number 1 is done. Number 2 is understanding the direction, like actually picking a direction and confirming that's where the mountain is, but like you can't see it, right? So what a lot of people do is they continually circle around the island trying to find it, but the view will never change, right? And the third thing is once you pick a direction, you got to start walking because you could drown, right? And there's failure is always an option. It just always is, right? But the thing that separates the people who like get to the mountain and don't is just the ones who walk, and they put themselves in a position. They're constantly putting themselves in the best position possible to be able to get the outcome, right? And so like I guess the question is like how much more time do you want to spend kind of circling the island? And what do you feel like you need to do to put yourself in the best position to where in 3, 6, 12, 18 months, you can be stepping out of the business, making 3 to 5 million and not actually being the guy who's making all the money and being the slave to the business? Like what actions need to be taken in order for you to actually put that in motion?
We need to fix ourselves.
Okay. And how much longer do you want to put off fixing that sales team?
No.
Well, like why not? Why not just do it later? Just do it in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years.
Yeah, because it's been a problem for quite a while.
Okay. So what do you feel like you need to do to make sure that like when you go to bed tonight, you know you're doing everything you can to put yourself in the best position to be able to get that outcome?
Fix our sales team.
Okay. So what do you want to do from here?
I just need to work out a payment plan. And then,
okay, let's do it.
That's it. Yeah. Nice. Wow, that was just to let you know, I've been on a lot of sales calls. Like that's the smoothest one I also been on. So
okay. So how do you want to play?